2008, you guys got the first state titles for the program. If you could take me through the season and through the state media of what that experience was like for you guys.
Well, it was really different from my freshman year because we got a whole lot more people. But I was excited because I knew they were all good because most of them ran track, and winning states definitely came as a surprise.
In some sense, the 2008 season was like when we first got back through the summer, and then when Hell Week started. After Hell Week, it was like, you know, I honestly believe in my own head. I didn't tell anyone else this, but in my own head, I honestly believe that we could have won states. You know, because we had such a strong team. Everyone came back that ran from that year before to this year, and they were committed. I mean, I ran with Nick throughout the whole summer, and we did our workouts and everything. We did everything that we had to do. Everybody had to do everything they had to do. And then, as it progressed after each meet, it was like we kept building more in confidence. And from words from Pizzulli and Miller, it was, they just kept adding on. We always had a plan. We always had a plan for every meet. It doesn't matter which meet. It could at all. But we always had a plan. We always stuck with that plan too. And when that day of states came, we had a huge plan and we carried it out.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the biggest summers we ever had, training-wise. We had a whole summer set with workouts and everything. First time we ever had that. Every week there was at least one workout that we did. Come here to the school 7 o'clock in the morning to try and beat the heat, and I think running the whole summer with your team, it kind of helped build that trust. Like the friendship thing. Like Joe said, all the returning athletes, there's a lot of experience on hand. Just the whole top 7 at maybe -1 had run the state meet already. So they pretty much knew what to expect for that day, how to prepare, not just physically but mentally as well. Everything just seemed to come together that day, and winning by 1 point. That's kind of absurd to think about, but
it's different.
We got it done.
Yeah, it was great for the girls to win during that season, but I didn't doubt that my teammates and I could possibly pull it off because they had worked so hard, and we had done really good throughout the season. But then for the guys to win right after us, that might have even been more of a victory for the girls too, just to have, because we're such a tight family, that to have both guys and girls win it's so much better than just having one team win.
This year you guys repeated. Is it more difficult, you think, to win the first one, or to have everyone know you're the team to beat and defend them off?
I mean, I would say with the 2 teams that we had going in, I think everybody knew, with this girls team, everybody knew who they were, but all they did was go out and put everything out there and dominate. I mean, everyone knew what to expect, but there was no answer to that. I think the guys, they were in a different situation where, they didn't have the dominance there. So I think they weren't able to take anybody by surprise either. But it was a lot closer. I mean, it still came down to individual places meant something for those guys.
Yeah, we definitely had a big target on our back after 08, and I guess it was a little more nerve-wracking on myself knowing that I was leading a team instead of being the number 2 guy all year long. It's a bunch of young guys. I mean, had DJ there, but just Cole and Ford just kind of worried me the way Cole had run at Bull Run. And, but they definitely came through for us, finishing as the first and second guy on the team.
And I think for the girls, the added pressure of, the guys didn't even get a mention in the preseason online, that Running Maryland site. Didn't even mention the guys. So the guys are kind of that underdog again. The girls, they pretty much said, Well, the girls are going to win. Who's going to get second? I think that kind of pressure, especially on... Our girls are competitors, but at the same time, they're really nice, so they don't like to think like that. So, especially Bailey over here. She has a hard time thinking like that. So, I think the pressure this year for the girls almost made it harder than last year, because it's a lot easier to come up. Where for the guys, neither year we've really been picked to win. But last year, doing it that first time, and the way it had to be done against two teams like South Carroll and Glen Elg, I definitely think last year would have been harder. I think it's different for the guys and girls. I think the girls this year, with that added pressure, I think a lot harder to go back and do it. Wouldn't you agree, ladies?
Yeah, it was hard, and there was a lot more pressure, I think, just because there's that saying, becoming number one is easier than remaining number one. I definitely think that's true, because if you haven't won yet, no one expects it from you. But to do what we did this season was incredible, considering all the pressure that we had on us. But it was a good year.
Yeah, like it seemed like last year, when we started off, it seemed like there was nowhere to go but up. And like when you're already up there, like when you're already like doing really well, it seemed like we had nowhere to. Like, we had to stay where we were or go down. Like, we couldn't go up anymore, it felt like.
Well, these girls are a different breed, too. This is, again, we're talking about, they ran so well all year, and there were races that they won handily. And at the end, we should have been celebrating. And Pizzulli and I talked about this towards the end of the season, where instead of that, we're consoling with tears. Like, you guys really did a good job. Oh, but I should have done this much better. And trying to get them to the point where they stood back and enjoyed a win for a day before they turned back and decided, we're sort of working towards improving. So I hope they're enjoying what they've done now that the season's over. I don't know if they are yet.
Yeah. All right, well, looking forward, I think boys and girls top 7, you're only losing a total of 3 runners combined. What's the future hold in store for this program with so many returning athletes again?
I really think that's up to the athletes. Bailey's the only one sitting at this table that runs next year. And it really comes down to every single year we talk about individual responsibility and just what decisions the team make as a whole and the team makes as individuals. So it's unique as a sport, I would say, because an individual can mess it up for a whole group, where on a football team someone else can step up, someone else can. We're on a team as hard as it is to stay where we're at. Like, we lose one girl and, all of a sudden we open it up to another team. So they know the individual responsibility and the pressure on themselves, and it really comes down to whether the Tommy Bishops on our team or the Dianes on the girls' team are going to accept the responsibility of, I have 4 years to become what Jen Cleary came, or Joe Stover, or Nick Hanifee, and it takes all 4 of those years to get there. Austin came in the hardest position, being a senior, without anywhere to go the next year, so to just come out there and work as hard as he could for 1 year and learn to love the sport, where these other ones with a future, they say, it doesn't have to all happen now, but I have to do the work each and every day in order so when I'm a senior I can be celebrating like these seniors, and that's what we keep trying to push. Tommy, if you want to celebrate your senior year like you just watched Nick Hanifee, well, you've got to do everything that Nick Hanifee did. And Nick knew he had to do everything that Joe did, and Joe knew he had to do everything that Austin did, and it just kind of builds upon itself. So really, next year depends on Bailey and other athletes coming back, but we like our chances